Welcome to The Informant, the podcast that talks about anything and everything. We cover from sports, religion, politics, social, you name it. I'm your host as ever, Doc McLeod. So without any further ado, let's delve right into it. Good day, my beloved brethren. Once again, I come to you with news updates. You know, news is becoming quick and fast, quick, thick and fast, if I can put it that way. There was a meeting again in the KG6. His Excellence had a meeting with, I'm well informed, His Excellence had a meeting with the generals, trying to make sure that they can reach to a common ground and get to an understanding level. What I like about what I'm told is the president did not go there to defend all the corrupt moves that people have been talking about or people are pointing to, but instead he was having a meeting to make sure that he reminds them of the Chitepo school of ideology. The whole thing is he did not go there as a boss, but he went there as a compatriot, as somebody who went to war with them so that they can all open the same page without fear or favor. Right, looking at it, we have news infiltrating that some generals who have ordered for the investigation of the V11s are being investigated. They are being hunted day and night. Some are actually now fearing for their life, but they are saying they've got to keep the press on. And during the talk with His Excellence, that issue was never mentioned, and he never even wanted to stray along those lines. So as it went by, the president had a meeting at KG6 with all generals. Let me read what has been given to me in detail. Right. He has approached the generals with proof of work that he has done during his tenure as the president up to this very day. He said the liberation was not just about fighting to make the people free, but it was also about building the native nation of Zimbabwe, which he's saying he has done and is still doing. That's why he still wants to pursue his vision up to 2030, so that he does not leave or abort the assignment that he has started. He said, we fought for a Zimbabwe that defends itself. We also fought for a Zimbabwe that is capable of feeding itself. That's why there's this Fumvudza program. He said, we also fought for a Zimbabwe that leads itself. What he was trying to say is he's not looking for people to be trying to find support from outside of the country. If there be any challenges, he wants them to be settled in-house within the nation of Zimbabwe, because he doesn't want outside influence or outside interaction. A thing that I know definitely is not what the vice president is up for. He's already backing up support and making sure that he's beefed up to support anything that comes in regards if his push through his command is adhered to, and the sitting president tries to fight back or rebel, then he has got a backing that can topple what is fating to do. There's a message that has been doing rounds. It's not yet confirmed to me, but I've tried to check with one or two people where the VP, the vice president, just wrote what we call a colloquial statement, where he mentioned that anything that we start, we will finish. Nobody knows exactly what it meant, but because there's a political feud going on, people have started to interpret it differently, others trying to make sure that it means what they want to hear. We are still keeping our tabs closed. I'll be coming with that news at a later time, maybe tomorrow. You have to bear with me because I'm not a journalist. You should bear that. I do some work. I do work. I do run some business somewhere. So I've got to invest my time in that as well. But as and when I get time, I'll make sure that I'll try and feed you with information that is very current, so that you don't get confused by information that's doing trolls all over. I respect every person who's trying to feed information, but people should also know that they will leave people agitated if they don't give correct and proper information. I've said this about the Nyokayama Bunu issue. I've got the documents. I'm not talking about people who have told me about something. I'm telling you about what I have. I have the documents, and I have actually had to disclose the name that he was using, and the atrocities that's behind that name, and why now the Zimbabwean government seem to be pulling strings in winning over that case if it is not handled well. And all those people that have been applauding him when he was making the shouts, and I know he had a generic statement that he was saying that legendary. Everyone was starting to say it's really legendary. You know, some people can be comic, but at the very same time, he had a drive and a mission of what he dreamt to be the best way forward. Unfortunately, the young guy didn't have backing. So as of now, he's running short of financial assistance because his solicitors, if they pull out for non-payment, then the whole deal is gone. The young guy will be expatriated to Zimbabwe, where definitely I can tell you, without fear or favor, that you'll be roasted by the system. You know, the system, it doesn't mess about with people that try to mess up with it. So people need to stand up with the guy. Let me not deviate from what I'm talking about here. Let me go back to the KG6 meeting, because that's where the issue lies more. Right, the president has presented a track record of the things that he has done. These are real projects, and these are not just projects that he's talking about to be done. He has actually shown the real progress in the project that he has undertaken. These are key facts. These are facts, and they are key to the nation building. What he was saying during the time of his address, he said, key national projects that he started to point out to, I'll mention them one by one so that people get to know that as much as the fight is on, he's saying, like I always tell people, have two goods, one improvement. He did not say he's a perfect man. He did not defend all irregularities that are being claimed or pointed to him. But he also had to point out on some things that he has done so that if he is to be judged, he's not to be judged using information that's being thrown all over on Twitter. But if he is to be judged, let him be judged fairly because of what he has done in building the nation of Zimbabwe. Please don't bring emotions to me. I'm just a messenger. Otherwise, I won't be patient with people if they don't allow me to express or share information that is not easily reachable by many. Right. He mentioned the Beitbridge border post modernization. He says, as you can see, it's now the best border post in the whole of Southern Africa. It can even be compared to any other border post in any country in Africa. He wants to believe we have got one of the best that has been done during his tenure as the president of Zimbabwe. He has also gone on to mention the Harare-Masvingo Beitbridge Road, the rehabilitation part of it, and say it was a massive success, and it's making now business to be easy for people to transport, for business transportation, traveling of people. He said that's a massive. Consider the fact that that road is a stretch of 585 kilometers. He said that's a big achievement, and is still looking to do more of those projects. He spoke about the Kovimba mining project initiative, and he says that's another initiative that's going to be income generating and for the nation of Zimbabwe, and it's also going to be creating employment for quite a number of people. He did not stop there. He even went on to speak about the Manhize, the Deanstone Iron and Steel Company project. He said that $1 billion project is most likely to be creating close to 6,000 jobs. And he even pointed to say that it is the largest steel plant that is going to be implemented in Africa, meaning to say Zimbabwe is going to be on top of every other nation when it comes to steel production. And he's looking at it positively. He was not saying this to boast, but he was saying this for legacy purposes, to say, if you are to judge me, but you should also take note of some of the projects that I have done. Let this not divide your opinions. Every person is entitled to their own opinion. I'm just reading what I know has been discussed within the behind the door meetings. He went on to speak about the agriculture, the Pfumvudza Rural Project, and he said empowerment is being given and is still being given to people who are doing their own agricultural projects and feeding into the Pfumvudza, so that the nation becomes a self-sustaining nation that can feed itself. He even strayed his explanation to the e-government and digital stabilization of the ZIMRA. He said it's the best system that has ever been implemented in the country of Zimbabwe, if not in most of these African countries. The ZIMRA digitalization, it's a must. He says it's a masterclass according to how he has done it. It's some of the projects that have been implemented during his tenure in office as the sitting president. Last but not least, he spoke about transparency and military housing, the project that he intends to be doing, and have already started on them, to say these are some of the achievements that he has done and achieved during his time in the office. These are not just slogans, but these are real structures that he has actually put in place. And he is saying, whatever Twitter might say, whatever negative people might say, please do not judge me using social media comments, but judge me by the work and progress that is visible, tangible, and has been implemented, not just being spoken of. During his time of explanation, he said he took it downlands, what we call the Chitepo School of Ideology. He reminded people of great people that had been there before him, people like Herbert Chitepo, the late Robert Gabriel Mugabe, the people that have fought for the liberation of this country, and how great and how faithful they had stood with the country during the hard times to make sure that people are fully liberated. So through the Herbert Chitepo School of Ideology, he was reminding the military generals that they should know where they came from before, they should know where they were before they came through the whole system of Chitepo School of Ideology that empowers them to be where they are today. He says the best way to stand with a country and know that you are moving forward is when you check on development, because it is the highest form of patriotism. You cannot just be patriotic when you are not building the nation's infrastructure. I push it furthermore to what has been shared with me. He said he didn't defend his position when he has come before the generals. He said, I'm not here to defend my position, but I've invoked the ideological mentality within you guys who are leading as the army generals. You must know that most of them have been placed in those positions after all the reshuffles by him. So for him to know that he's now being challenged, it also becomes a challenge to him to try and see who is the person pushing behind it. As much as they might have seemed to have crossed roads with General Chiwenga, one thing that I need to remind people and make them aware is he himself, the sitting president, knows how powerful the vice president is also. If it comes to power, they could be close to 50-50. Although it is the sitting president who has structured these systems, he is not paying a deaf ear, even playing a blind eye to the presence of the vice president, Constantine Dominic Nyikadzino Chiwenga. He knows that he's a powerful man. It's only the people around him who are trying to abort Chiwenga the wrong way, and they are touching him because they've never known him, they've never known who he is. But the sitting president does know the person who is his VP. Yes, upgrading of the Victoria Falls is another matter that he factored in when he was discussing or expressing what he has achieved as the president. He says he has turned it into a foreign and national business hub. And for sure, as you can all tell, the place is looking magnificent, international. You have seen most people starting to visit that place. These are some of the projects that he's pointing to. Other people might come and say, we know about the projects. What you are not happy about is the inflated prices that have been that have been used in putting up those places. It's a discussion for another day. He also spoke about the commissioning of the new Parliament Hub in Mount Hampden. He said he has moved from the Smith-inserted Parliament, and he has tried to show people that we are a liberated country. We cannot continue to be housed in things that were built by us, by our former colonial masters. Henceforth, he has commissioned the building of the new Parliament Hub, which is in Mount Hampden, and is taking pride in that. So if ever anything he is to be judged, he is saying, help me at all costs to appreciate the things I have also done. During the address, there were different emotions and different reactions. Now this is where it all starts to boil up. Listen to this. Other generals started to nod in agreement as he was reading and going through the physical, tangible, and already in place projects that he has actually commissioned during his time as president. Others never responded. They were only taking notes because he was addressing them as cadres, but not as the boss. So for that, others kept silent while he's just taking notes and never commented or said nothing. With others that were sitting opposite each other while he was addressing, the eyes were just clashing from what I'm told. At times eyes can talk. Yeah? At times eyes can talk. You would want to know who it is that is talking to who. But during that time, I'm told that eyes were clashing, talking, meaning to say there are some people who were actually coordinating, trying to weigh what was being said, whether it was making sense or not, whether they were going to buy into what was being addressed to them or still stick to their guns on what they want. If it's change, we're going to be hearing more about that. During that time, there was what we call, because this is the military, this is not the social media hub, where people just come and blast, where people can just throw comments, where people can just label others, where people can just divide amongst themselves, where people think they know everything and they don't give time to listen to somebody. What it is, this was the military, highest ranked personnel that was being addressed by one former senior cadre who took to war with them and came back with them, and they have known for all this more than 45 years of being together. They had been together before the liberation. So 45 years into the liberation, plus the time they spent while they were in the bushes and the trenches, this bond is what was being reminded by the president to the army generals. So what was in the room, it was full of controlled emotions. There was no shouting, no commenting, no questioning. It was just listening and controlled emotions. But at the very same time, there was full attention being paid to what he was saying. The room regarded him as a former comrade and not as a boss when he was addressing, meaning to say his powers were toned down for them to be close to the same level so that they can reason together. There's something that I want to express here. Other officials in that room, they then started to question as to why projects were now being pushed after the invocation of all these things. The things to do with issues like the hospitals, where Parenyatwa has been the outcry of all hospitals, avenues, and all the other hospitals, the Mpilo Hospital, where they have been degraded up to close to, like what they are saying, close to nothing. Then all of a sudden, because its pressure has been mounting, the president has gone to Belarus, where he is said to have acquired contracts for the hospitals to be reinvented and redesigned, if not re-upgraded. They are saying, why are you now rushing all these projects when all this time you were hearing about it and not acting? It did put tension in the room, from what I am told. The president was asking the generals to judge him fairly, like I said, and but not covering up for his wrongdoings. He did not even try and explain, but all he was trying to do was just to give them the facts at hand. This refrains him, but does not judge his wrongdoings or destroy his legacy. He's saying what he has done, he's so praying that they preserve his legacy as a former president of Zimbabwe. he has been saved. The way he has addressed the meeting, he has saved himself from being a corruptionist, but instead a revolutionary leader who built his country during his time and tenure in office. The movement, he says, was historic, and the projects are real. And above all, so I'm asking you, what do you think is going to be the army's take to this? Because having been addressed and him having left, it means to say the army is going to have to remain behind and discuss over it, chew over the bond that has been laid to them. What do you think is going to be the outcome to all of this? I'm going to be coming later on with another challenge that has actually happened, where there is 12 chief army commanders who sit and determine the outcome of where the nation is going to go from here on. And of the 12, only 8 are present in the country. The other 4 are out of the country. I can tell you that the other 4 are in Russia. So whatever has been voted and wanted to be, they are still waiting for the other 4 to come. And they are the ones who are now going to determine, if not define, the direction of the wind from here. What should we be praying for now? Questions are being asked. People don't even know where to turn to. And the truth is just invaded what we call the public platform. Information is now coming strictly from special sources if people are to understand the position of the country. Hear me very clearly. I want to leave you with something. There's a presentation that I'm going to be bringing in regards to the V11s. The money for the printing of the V11s was transacted in South Africa. But the big question is, were all the V11s printed in South Africa? Don't forget, Zimbabwe has got the Zimbabwe Republic Police Printing Department. Were the V11s printed in South Africa or were printed in Zimbabwe? But the transaction was made in South Africa. I'm going to come and unpack all that for you because I've been given information in regards to that. Let's all be aware. Let's not use emotions. We want to come and want to make sure that if ever anything, there's got to be a round table that has got to be set and people discuss rather than stretching each other's patience and then ending up with the guns. Listen and listen to me very clearly. We are at a time where I want to believe and not shy to tell the leaders, the bosses, that one thing for a fact, if pride is not swallowed, disaster will strike. At this point in time, it's got to be a give and take. It cannot be a military position continuous. Otherwise, we will be heading for guns. Rather than us building, we will be destroying and killing each other. I'll leave all this up to you. It's just a presentation to the people that don't know how, some who don't know how politics operate. I want to believe a round table is the best move from here on. The 2030 mantra has got to be seized. If not, let the volume of it be toned down, and let's talk first about what is being trumpeted. Let the president serve his 2 terms. Or let me ask, should the president serve his complete 2 terms or be extended to 2030, or should he be challenged by the push of the VP, who seem to be gaining momentum at this point in time from his camp and the support that he's having from the people? His travels are not just the travels that we are seeing. There is something behind the scenes. You can only be shown where you need to see, but some private places that is going to, it's not for the general public. With this, I leave you to chew the bone while I await to bring you more news. Yours trusted.